Look at all of these personal belongings. We have couches, toys, even this painting. All of this was hauled out by movers hired by Fannie Mae. Now, the family cannot go back inside this home, and they have just hours to move all of their personal belongings. We've seen hundreds of people throughout the day come here, drop to their knees, pray, drop off signs, drop off flags, flowers. It has been so emotional. We were actually here yesterday as this memorial was created. A woman stopped by here with a prayer and a single flag. We were here, and now it's grown to this, all to pay respect to those Marines. As people continue to pack the convention center, a group of protesters have gathered. Hillary Clinton is actually still taking photos and meeting people here in the crowd at Fisk University. This is Hillary Clinton's first campaign swing through the volunteer state. For the second time ever, Vol fans have been asked to check her kneel-in. And as these 102,000 fans pack the stands, they've come ready, dressed in their orange or white. Horsehaven of Tennessee is a nonprofit, and all the donations go toward helping horses and ponies like Rebel here get healthy and find a forever home. Lieutenant Heatherly was sitting at this red light when her car was hit. Her car was pushed across the intersection, the impact pushing her car 87 feet, resting here.
Well, did a judge cross the line with an alleged domestic abuse victim in court? That was a question brought to us after a viewer heard a Knox County judge's comment in the courtroom to a woman who says she was assaulted by her boyfriend. WATE 6 on your side reporter Stephanie Beecken pulled the records to hear what happened and how this could affect future cases.
Not only did I find out that an expert in the legal field disagreed with some of the judge's statements in court and a victim's rights advocate was concerned with the court proceedings, I dug deeper and discovered the man who was accused of the assault was never supposed to be on the streets. He was mistakenly let out of prison early. On October 29th, Marcus Tate was in court for an assault charge. The alleged victim took the stand. This is video from another one of Tate's hearings. We were not in court for the assault hearing, but pulled the audio recording.
How many hands does he have on you trying to get your phone?
Both of his hands.
When Tate made bond for this assault charge, he is ordered to not have contact with the victim. The alleged victim testifies they spent the night together in violation of the bond restrictions. It is Judge Chuck Cerny's response causing some to be concerned.
How should this court interpret the behaviors of these two persons who appear to have no ability or willingness to comply with the orders of a court in the United States of America? Wouldn't that be contemptuous behavior?
Later in the hearing, prosecutors addressed this subject.
She is not under a court order in this matter and should not be threatened with contempt.
What are we going to do about the circumstance where this kind of behavior consistently happens as though people are responding to some sort of hormonal influence that makes them behave as if they don't have a cerebellum, but rather they're responding only to the influences of something much lower?
Your Honor, she came to court. She was extremely brave. She testified truthfully in front of Your Honor. That is not something that we need to punish or insult.
She spent the night, last night, the night before court, and last weekend.
Yes, Your Honor, with that man who's on bond conditions in order to have no contact with her. Why are we not yelling at him?
The judge did not end up holding the alleged victim in contempt. I went to LMU Duncan School of Law's Matt Lyon for legal perspective.
But I do think the DA was correct in stating that if there's any contempt here, it was any violation of a court order, it was the defense's violation of the court order, not the victim's. Hearing the specific, I don't think you could argue, is provocative language the court used here, you could see there being a chilling effect.
I asked victims' rights advocate Amy Dilworth with the Family Justice Center to listen to the hearing.
Not using your cerebellum, using your hormones to think, and some comments like that, it made me angry.
Dilworth says it can be hard for victims to leave relationships, and testifying takes courage.
No one seems to understand the level of danger that abusers pose, the level of brainwashing that they put in place, and that victims can't just leave.
She says what happened in court could be devastating, causing victims to fear coming forward.
I doubt this victim would be willing to come and use the system again, to trust the system again. And so things like that concern me.
The judge bound this case over to the grand jury as a misdemeanor assault. I asked him about his comments made in court. He said, quote, "I respectfully decline to comment on a case that's pending. That would be inappropriate. You can rest assured that I take all of these cases extremely seriously and give every case my absolute best effort to do the right thing and what the law calls for."
In researching this story, I discovered Tate should not have been out of prison to pick up a new charge. He was convicted of a felony drug charge last year and sentenced to 8 years in prison, but was released on a boot camp probation program, which he did not qualify for. I asked the Tennessee Department of Correction about the error. They sent me this statement, reading in part, quote, "Mr. Tate met all qualifications to be admitted into the boot camp program with one exception, the amount of substance he was caught with. This instance was a rare but unfortunate oversight," end quote. In the studio for the CW 20 News at 10, Stephanie Beecken, 6 News. I want to point out, not only is this a memorial, this is still a crime scene. These officers just arrived right over here. We have about 6 officers investigating, and just a few hours ago I was about 15 minutes down the road. That's where the suspected shooter lives. I spoke with his neighbor who has known him for 14 years. Hear how she described the suspect. Karen Jones has watched Muhammad Abdulaziz grow up. She's lived next door to him and his family for 14 years. She even saw Abdulaziz this past weekend before the shooting.
He played with the boy that lives across the street a lot as he was growing up, and he was out playing with the soccer ball this weekend.
Jones has been to his home. She says the families are friends and even have dinners together. Jones says the Abdulaziz family is Muslim and would visit Kuwait.
They've went for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks a couple of summers ago.
As a family?
And then he's been there since then.
She says there were never any signs of anything suspicious.
Very surprised. I would never have thought that would ever happen.
Jones describes the shooting suspect as an all-American boy.
Usually a really good-looking guy. He's tall, thin, athletic, and then he had this beard that he grew lately. Friendly. Nice family, really.
Jones tells me she does not live in fear, but she does hope changes are made to improve safety. Again, Kristen, she says the whole situation she is just shocked by.
A Knoxville restaurant has helped hundreds of people over the holidays with their Pay It Forward program.
The owners of Little Nicky's New York Pizza started this 10 years ago with their pizzeria in New Jersey. When they moved to Knoxville, they continued the program. The owners tell me many people this season have been able to get free food, all thanks to the community. Meet Nikki Haddad, owner of Little Nicky's New York Pizza, a place known for delicious pies and personalized Post-its on the wall. Nikki started the Pay It Forward program to make sure everyone could get a slice of pizza.
When I was young, we were poor, so our pizza was a piece of bread with some ketchup and then American cheese on it. So, you know, I don't want anyone to have to eat that.
He started by posting notes on the wall so people in need knew they could have a slice. Soon customers started leaving messages and donating a few bucks. Employee David Schwenk says it's all about helping others in the community.
It's a family. When someone in the family's hurt and needs help, you help someone in the family. It's the way it is.
The notes on the wall show the donated amount. Pull the note, take it to the counter, and get a free slice of pizza. It's that easy.
I've seen a couple, hey, I've been there, God's looking over, and you know, everybody in their life goes through some tough times, and you know, it's amazing.
Used notes go into this bag.
It's clearly a great thing, and it makes one happy to support a business like this.
A little bit here, a little bit there, everybody's happy, and that's all it's all about, you know?
That's what it's all about. It really is like a close family in there. It seems like the owners and employees know everyone who comes in.